This is Part B of Unit 6 lecture on microbial diversity. The bacteria are very diverse organisms. In this section, we will be looking at the differences in many groups of bacteria. The rRNA and growth patterns suggest that the deeply branching bacteria are similar to the earliest bacteria. They live in hot, acidic, anaerobic, and high UV light environments. A couple of examples of these are the Aquaflex and Deinococcus. The phototrophic bacteria obtain the energy for anabolism from light. The cyanobacteria are gram-negative phototrophs, which generate oxygen during photosynthesis. They are 1 to 10 microns long, coccoid or disc-shaped, and use chlorophyll A. They have a gelatinous glycocalyc sheath, and blue-green algae isolate nitrogen-fixing enzymes in heterocysts. Reduced nitrogen is transported to the neighboring cells in exchange for glucose. Others separate photosynthesis and nitrogen fixation by carrying them out at different times. Green and purple phototrophic bacteria do not generate oxygen. They use bacteriochlorophylls for photosynthesis instead of chlorophyll A. They are anaerobic and found in hydrogen and sulfide-rich mud of ponds. Examples include the green sulfur bacteria, chlorobi, and the green non-sulfur bacteria, chloroflexi, and purple sulfur and non-sulfur proteobacteria. If these are of interest to you, here is some more information that you can follow in these links. These links are going to give you information well beyond what you need for this class. There's a little bit of information here. It's actually a research article at this bottom link here on the toxic blooms of cyanobacteria that are in stagnant water. The low G and C gram-positive bacteria of the phylum Firmicutes include the Clostridia, Mycoplasma, and other low GC gram-positive bacteria. Clostridia are obligate anaerobic gram-positive rods, many of which produce endospores and produce toxins. These include Clostridium tetani, causing tetanus, Clostridium botulinum, causing botulism, Clostridium perfringens, causing gas gangrene, and Clostridium difficile causing diarrhea, and a pseudomembranous colitis. The mycoplasmas are facultative and obligate anaerobes which lack cell walls. They are pleomorphic and gram-stained pink. They are 0.2 to 0.8 microns and colonize osmotically protected habitats. There's a couple of videos in this section here that you can follow. Actually, there's one on Clostridium difficile. The Bacillus species are endospore-forming aerobes and facultative anaerobes with Paratrichus flagellus. Bacillus thuringiensis is used by farmers, and Bacillus polymixa and Bacillus licheniformis are used to make antibiotics. Bacillus anthracis causes anthrax. Listeria is a gram-positive rod that does not make endospores. Listeria can continue to reproduce under refrigeration and is found in meat and milk products. It can also live in phagocytes and can kill fetuses when it crosses the placenta. Lactobacillus is also a non-spore-forming gram-positive rod, normally found in the human mouth, gastrointestinal tract, and vagina. They are friendly flora which inhibit the growth of pathogens. The streptococci and enterococci are gram-positive cocci that occur in pairs or chains. They are responsible for numerous pathologies such as pharyngitis, scarlet fever, impetigo, fetal meningitis, wound infections, pneumonia, and ear, blood, skin, and kidney infections. Some have toxins such as the strain causing necrotizing fasciitis. The staphylococci are gram-positive cocci that grow in clusters. Staphylococcus aureus grows normally on skin. It can be invasive, causing bacteremia, food poisoning, toxic shock syndrome, and other blood, bone, joint, and heart diseases. So again, here we have several links on these organisms. The one on listeriosis is kind of interesting to watch, since listeriosis is something that we don't normally hear about a whole lot. The next group is the high GNC gram-positive bacteria. The Corynebacteria are pleomorphic but generally form rods. They are aerobes or facultative anaerobes and divide by snapping division. They will store phosphate in metachromatic granules. An example is Corynebacterium diphtheriae. The Mycobacterium are aerobic, straight to slight curved rods. They grow slow and sometimes form filaments. They have mycolic acids or wax in their walls, making them require an acid-fast stain. The actinomycetes form branching filaments resembling fungi and include the actinomyces, nocardia, and streptomyces. Actinomyces form chains of reproductive spores and are part of the normal flora of the throat and mouth. Nocardia are soil or water-dwelling organisms that can degrade pollutants. Some may also cause human lesions. The streptomyces recycle nutrients in the soil, and their metabolic products give soil its smell. They also produce some antibiotics such as chloramphenicol, erythromycin, and tetracycline. The gram-negative proteobacteria are the largest and most diverse group of bacteria. The first subgroup is the alpha proteobacteria. They are aerobes who grow in various shapes at low nutrient levels. Many have extensions for attachment and increased surface area called prothecae. The nitrogen fixers, such as azospirillum, grow on the surface of roots of tropical grasses and sugarcane. The rhizobium forms root nodules on legume roots. Both of these are needed for nitrogen fixation by the plant. If you're not familiar with what nitrogen fixation is, or you need a little reminder on it, there is a link on here that shows a video of it that's pretty good for giving explanations. The nitrifying bacteria do nitrification to convert various forms of nitrogen to nitrate. The purple non-sulfur phototrophs live in the upper layers of mud at the bottom of ponds and do not generate oxygen in photosynthesis. And there was not a lot of other information that was too interesting on the purple non-sulfur phototrophs. If you're looking for more information, this is an article here that talks about them in swine wastewater. There are a few pathogenic alpha proteobacteria. The rickettsia are gram-negative aerobes which divide by binary fission. They must live inside of cells for the Krebs cycle intermediates. Rickettsia is the causative agent for Rocky Mountain spotted fever. The Ehrlichia lives in white blood cells. It is a tick-borne disease causing fever, headache, myalgia, and leukopenia. Brucellosis is a coccobacillus which causes brucellosis. In animals, it causes abortion and sterility. In humans, it causes fever, chills, sweating, and fatigue. It also survives phagocytosis. And so there is some information I put in here on these because they are primarily diseases that will occur in animals, so that you can take a look and see what would happen with your pets with those. Other alpha proteobacteria include the acetobacter and gluconobacter used to make acetic acid. So this link here is going to give you some information about the technology using gluconobacter. The beta proteobacteria thrive in low nutrient levels. Nitrosomonas is a nitrifying organism that oxidizes nitrite to nitrate. The pathogenic beta proteobacteria includes Neisseria, Bordetella, and Burkholderia. The Neisseria are gram-negative diplococci causing meningitis, gonorrhea, pelvic inflammatory disease, inflammation of the eyes, pharynx, and cervix. All of the Neisseria are difficult to grow in the lab and require a special agar called chocolate agar that has all of the nutrients already processed by enzymes ready for them to digest. Bordetella is the agent causing pertussis or whooping cough. It is also a Bordetella species that causes kennel cough in dogs. So I've included a link here that talks about Bordetella in general, and then there is one specifically talking about it with dogs. And then because it's the one causing whooping cough, a lot of times people will assume just any bad cough is whooping cough. And this video here actually gives an example of what the characteristic whoop sound is when someone actually has whooping cough. Burkholderia are able to recycle organic compounds. And so here's a little bit of information on Burkholderia. Other beta proteobacteria include the colorless sulfur bacteria Thiobacillus. This organism recycles sulfur into the environment and oxidizes hydrogen sulfide or elemental sulfur to sulfate. The zooglia and spherotilus form flocks in sewage. Spirillum minimus causes rat bite fever. That is not a disease we see a whole lot in the U.S., but there is a link to it here if you're interested for more information. Of the proteobacteria, the gamma proteobacteria are the largest and most diverse group. The purple sulfur bacteria are obligate anaerobes, which oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. These are found in sulfur-rich lakes, bogs, and oceans. Some are intracellular pathogens that thrive in the host white blood cells. These include Coxiella causing Q fever and Legionella causing Legionnaire's disease. And this video here actually gives a nice explanation of Legionnaire's disease and how easily it can grow in the water supplies. The methane oxidizers are gram-negative anaerobics that digest methane in the environment. And here's a little bit of information on methane oxidizers in the environment. The glycolytic facultative anaerobes are gram-negative rods. These include the Enterobacteriaceae and Escherichia coli. And these are actually a really big group of organisms in there that we look at the clinically significant ones later on in the quarter. The pseudomonads are aerobic and gram-negative rods. They range from straight to slightly curved and flagellated. They're able to break down numerous organic compounds and spoil milk, eggs, and meat. They can be a pathogen causing urinary tract infections and otitis externa. So here's some information on Pseudomonas. One of the things that is really interesting about Pseudomonas is it is able to grow on a lot of disinfectants. It's not unusual to find it actually growing in mouthwash solutions where people will take the mouthwash directly out of the bottle and put it right in their mouth and contaminate it with a little bit of backwash and infect it with Pseudomonas. The delta proteobacteria include Desulfovibrio, which are sulfate-reducing organisms. They are found in polluted streams, sewage, and corroding pipes. Their presence is accompanied by the odor of hydrogen sulfide. These also include the Bdellovibrio, the Bdellovibrio. The myxobacteria are gram-negative aerobes that live in the soil and glide on a slime trail and form myxospores. The epsiloproteobacteria are gram-negative rods, vibrios, or spirals. These include Campylobacter causing food poisoning and Helicobacter causing ulcers. So we've got a couple of videos here, or a couple of websites on the vibrios, particularly Vibrio cholera is of clinical significance. There's a video here on Campylobacter. It's actually part of a series of videos that are put out that are ASL videos on food safety and handling food. It might be something you would want to have as a reference. You never know when you would need to communicate those things with somebody whose primary means of communication is ASL, and these websites already have it ready for you on these videos here. And then this last website is on Helicobacter pylori. This group studies it, and if you're really interested in H. pylori, you can order your own LED shirt there with a $70 donation that lights up with the bacteria on the front. Other gram-negatives include the chlamydias, spirochetes, bacteroidetes, and others. The chlamydias are small gram-negative cocci that live intracellularly. They cause neonatal blindness, pneumonia, lymphogranuloma, venereum. The spirochetes are helical-shaped bacteria which use a corkscrew-type movement. They have diverse metabolism and habitats. These include the treponema causing syphilis or Borrelia causing Lyme disease. And so we've got a couple of websites on those for you, including a little bit of entertainment with the chlamydia. The bacteroids are gram-negative rods. They are obligate anaerobes found normally in human and animal gastrointestinal tracts, aiding in the digestion of cellulose and complex carbohydrates. They actually make up about 30% of human feces and can be an anaerobic pathogen. The cytophaga are aerobes that degrade complex polysaccharides. They damage wood and degrade raw sewage.